Find this and other great figures at BigBadToyStore.com.
What's going on, guys? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at the brand new toy line out of Japan, and that is the Godzilla Egg line. Now, these are based loosely on a line that the Ultraman toys had going for a while, where all of the figures turn into these egg-like creatures. So we have classic monsters such as Godzilla himself, Gigan, King Ghidorah, Mechagodzilla, and Mothra. So let's go ahead and open them up and take a look. Out of the packaging, each of the egg forms do look, well, they look a little weird, I'm not going to lie. The only one that really looks like an egg here is Mothra, but that's just because it's white. Overall, the look of the eggs is not really what this is all about. It's about the fact that you've got a relatively inexpensive figure that is in this nice little compact form that can then turn into something you saw from the movies. When I initially pulled these guys out of the packaging, I was really surprised at the quality of the plastic. Certain parts of the figures feel absolutely fine, but then other parts of the figures don't feel good at all. They feel very flimsy and very breakable. But that being said, though, you have to realize somewhat middling quality plastic from Japan is already 10 times as good as the best plastics here in the US. I'm not going to lie, these things feel like some USA figures. It's just a very strange feeling in the hands. And another strange thing is all of these guys have different textures to them. Mothra feels smooth, kind of silky. Gegen feels spiky. Godzilla feels scaly-ish. Ghidorah feels really scaly. And then Mechagodzilla here feels metally. And it's just the way the plastic has been molded. It's very interesting. I like the way they've been able to nail the texture characters of each one of the figures. Now, size-wise, so they're all about the same size, so we'll put them off to the side, and I'm going to give you guys a comparison with Godzilla Egg here. The first quick size comparison is with this little Godzilla figure here. You might remember him from the Destruction City sets. As you can see, the eggs in egg form are smaller than the little Zilla. Well, that doesn't really give you a good idea, does it? Well, here is Armor Change Gegen. And here is Deluxe Class Generations Starscream in his Armada configuration. Yeah, they're a lot smaller than these two guys. One thing about each of these guys is they do transform differently, and I do find that really cool. We'll start off with Godzilla. Take his forearms in the egg form and pull them forward. Flip his legs down and fold out his feet. And then come around back and fold out the section that will be his tail. And reach underneath and pull out the full tail and snap it into place, and then fold that down until it snaps into place, and then flip up Godzilla's head and fold down his little back part. And here we have Godzilla in egg monster mode. Godzilla is very nicely detailed, and it's obvious that they're kind of going for the not more modern Godzilla. I thought his head could move. It does move just a smidge left to right, but other than that, no real posability other than what he has in his arms, and his mouth doesn't open. I really wish his mouth opened. The tail, nice, long, very cool, needs it as a third leg. There is one glaring issue, though, with this figure, which I'll show you when we get all of them together. You'll see it right away. Other than that, though, he's a very accurate Godzilla and a very cool-looking Godzilla, though he does feel a little bit on the cheap side, not gonna lie. Next up is Mothra. Take the sides of the eggs and open them up to fold out the Mothra wings, and then flip out the little bits to make the wings a little bigger. Then unpeg his little worm mode and flip up the moth head, and we have Mothra in butterfly moth mode and pupa mode. I get what the toy designers were going for with Mothra. There are some issues, though. One, the little pupa, it really doesn't do anything. It just kind of sits there looking all wormy, and it's not even detailed all that well. Yes, there's some really nice molding on it, but it's got its eyes, and that's it. Its mouth doesn't open. I wish the mouth opened. That would be a nice touch. Oh well. The moth form is nicely painted, not gonna lie, but it doesn't sit on a desk or on a table too well, and I don't really have anything that can just have him stand up and fly in the air, and that is kind of necessary. You can also pose his wings, or you can move them forward, which is, I think, actually what you're supposed to do, is supposed to put his wings forward like this. It's okay. It's nicely painted again, but I think this is the weakest out of the bunch. For Mechagodzilla, we're going to take the feet on his back and fold them down, then flip down the feet, open up his arms, fold down his mecha tail until it snaps into place, open his chest up, and flip up his head. And there we go. Now remember, this is the original Mechagodzilla, not the cooler Mechagodzilla. One neat little addition to the Mechagodzilla we have here is his head can fold straight up, and he can act like he's flying through the air like he does in the movies. Super stupid, but still a nice touch. The only issue I have with this one is, well, his tail has a tendency to break off, but it does snap right back into place. I don't know why they engineered that in. I just think that's kind of stupid. And here we have King Ghidorah to start off with. We'll open up the wings, fold down his legs, and they will snap into place. Open up the belly and flip out his 3 heads. And close that up. And I like to turn his heads off to the side and fold out his twin tails, which acts as another leg. And here we have King Gidorah. Ghidorah is probably the more interesting of the villains next to Gigan. It's just a well-done and well-looking figure. My biggest problem have to be the wings here. They just feel way too flimsy. And the tail. It's hollow. It has no real feel to it. It's just dumb. But overall, I think he is a quality little monster dude. Last up is Gigan, and he is very similar to Mechagodzilla. Fold down the legs, flip down the feet, flip down the tail, pull the arms away from the body, but then flip out his giant claw thingies, open up the chest and fold out the head, and then open up his, I'm not even sure what the things on the back are, his frills, his wing back, and there you have Gigan. And Gigan's always been one of my favorite monsters simply because he's so weird. He's like this, like imagine if you crossed a human, a praying mantis, and a chicken. It's kind of the nightmare you would end up with. I think the paint is good, and overall I think it's got the most character of all of the eggs, other than maybe Mechagodzilla and Godzilla himself. Very, very cool. The Godzilla Eggs line is actually pretty cool, and I am glad I got a hold of these guys. Though the one glaring issue I have with it, the whole line as a whole is, why is Godzilla the shortest? I mean, look at this. He's shorter than Mechagodzilla, Gegen, and King Gidorah. Being shorter than King Gidorah, I can understand that, but not Gegen or Mechagodzilla. I just don't get why Godzilla is so short. As a quick comparison for the figures that I've already shown you, here are the unfolded, fully formed modes. Another quick comparison for you. As you can see, even the short Godzilla is bigger than the mini Godzilla we have from the movie toy line. Overall, though, they are all worth picking up, except for Mothra. Unless you're a huge fan of Mothra, I wouldn't pick up that one. So guys, I hope you enjoy this video review of the first wave of the Godzilla Egg figures. I've been baltmatrix, and as usual, I'll catch you next time